What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a look at the playtest for a game called Regiments. Regiments is a real-time tactics Cold War era strategy game in development and being published by Microprose. Microprose, pretty much everything they touch is gold. I'm a huge fan of the studio, of the publishing company. They make all sorts of badass games I'm looking forward to that are coming out in the near future. They're also connected to folks like Blue Drake 42, who did the Warfare 1944 game, connected to the folks over at Ground Branch. Of course, you're familiar with the Carrier Command 2 game that I've covered on the channel before. And Regiments looks like it's gonna turn into something really special. The playtest here is meant to give us hands-on, get a chance to taste the game, and offer some feedback on the way it's coming along. And I just finished up the tutorial. Can't say that I am an expert on the game in any way, but what I can say is the game is pretty user-friendly, and it's definitely a real-time tactics game. It's not a deep strategy game, but it is a quick-thinking, very excellent platform for illustrating combined arms maneuver in a pretty fast-paced environment. So perfect for this channel where we like to talk about tactics and doctrine, and it isn't going to require us to go, into these like hours-long episodes necessarily, because the game does seem to play pretty quickly. Today we're taking a look at an operation called Firebird. This is the only operation so far as I know that is available in the playtest. It says the GSFG offensive is faltering while U.S. Continental reserves are pouring in. 7th Guard Tank Division is tasked with a deep strike to disrupt the NATO reorganization. So we're playing with the Red Forces. Your 40th Motorized Rifle Regiment received the lion's share of the recent reinforcements. You will be our battering ram against the 2nd Panzer Division positions protecting the Air Force Base. The enemy is heavily entrenched and has in place obstacle belts. The 448th Rocket Brigade will provide missile strikes against enemy strongpoints on your command. Our objectives are to breach the tactical defenses, capture the air base, hold it against counterattacks. Take a look at this README real quick. Okay, playtest says, welcome to the playtest. You're committing a Soviet regiment tasked with breaching a German defensive position and taking an air base. Operations are complicated and include a lot of new mechanics, both in and out of combat. We can refer to the online guide if we have any questions. The guide is available from the main menu. Cool, we'll do that if I have any questions. The mode's still a work in progress, and guys, this is a playtest. Everything in this is a work in progress, and I don't want you to be hypercritical of the game designers and developers as we take a look at this. But so far, playing through the tutorial does seem to play pretty good. Yep, it's in the beta stage. Core functionality is present, but not all the accoutrements. Sound is on the way. Tutorials are somewhat outdated. Hotfixes may break stuff. What I do think is kind of interesting, and I'm not a Cold War guy. I'm very contemporary in my knowledge of doctrine and tactics. But when you look at the Cold War era, it was very much a combined arms kind of fight. And historically, the Russian army has used a lot of rocket artillery and a lot of armor to mass major penetrations exactly as described in the lead up to this operation. So I do like that it's sticking to that sort of design. I do like that this is kind of mostly reflecting accurate operational terms and graphics. It looks here like, we're a regiment-sized mech infantry element. We've got platoon of BRM-1K, platoon of T-64 Bravo 1 Victors, another platoon of T-64s, platoon of BMPs, platoon of BMPs, platoon of BMP-2s. BMP-2's I don't know what for, that's like 2 sections. Are they trying to say that's a company of BTR-70s? Similar size element of BMP-2s. But those are assault engineers, so like sapper equivalents. Then we have short-range air defense in the form of the Shilkas. We have mortars. And then we have artillery and then our logisticians. Interesting. Lots there in the opening phases that I clearly need to better understand before I dive all into regiments. But, whoa, this is enormous. This is so cool. All right. So we have to we're east, take hill 71, so a couple pieces of key terrain. It looks like stage, advanced condition. We have to secure an exit zone. So where is hill 71? There's the stage exit right there. Hill 71 is right there. That's a victory condition. And then Wera East is right here. So must take Hill 71, must take this little village here, and then must secure this point as it's like our next stage. And it looks like there's victory points associated with each of these. Like that'll get us that currency that we were after, those authority points or what have you, which will allow us to potentially unlock additional forces throughout the match. So we have 900 deployment points. We do have, there's a logistics element here, so 1,000 supply. And each of these nodes seems to grant the same currency. Okay. Cool. All right. We'll figure this out. What do we have available to ourselves? This music's a little much. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. Oh, are those allies? Those are allies. Interesting. So we've got green forces on the ground already. And then here are all of my guys, and I guess I can deploy them directly into these deployment zones. Okay, that makes sense. So when we start to look at this spot, I definitely, you know, if we know that our key terrain is Hill 71, the eastern portion of this urban sprawl, and then we need to proceed to the next stage here. The map is mostly flat. There are some obstacles and a lot of high-speed avenues of approach. The enemy is said to be entrenched, so we can expect them to be operating in battle positions around the urban areas and then using key terrains and choke points like in major intersections, certainly areas of elevation like Hill 99 as battle positions to fight from. And then just because of the layout of this map, as they, you know, are generally arrayed from east to west, I see them being prepared to like soak up this attack and fall back to subsequent battle positions. So if they stage some sort of defense near the warehouse, I would expect that they fight at that position as long as possible and then fall back to a position that's more advantageous, like Hill 99, where they know they'll have some high ground, have some better cover and concealment, and then fight from that location to the greatest extent possible before, you know, soaking it up from us. We've got 5 artillery barrages, a freaking TBM strikes for days. Let's go ahead and I think rather than split my force, I'm going to go with a heavy left hook and hit Wera East first, Hill 99 second. Hill 99, my most critical key terrain, because I need that high ground. Once I have that high ground, I can dominate all the spaces around it and then use a lot of that vegetation to set up my own defensive perimeter should I need to do it. Once we have Hill 99 captured, we'll push Hill 71. Once Hill 71 is captured, we'll perform essentially a movement to contact to get to the next stage. Without any major plans to take a lot of this other stuff unless we're forced to do it based off a game mechanic that I'm just not understanding. Okay, we'll need armor, infantry. Don't know that I'll need engineers. And I'll establish a little bit of short-range air defense and then bring lots of artillery and mortars. So armor first. I'm going to assemble my force kind of right here. Here, mech infantry, we'll get them kind of over in the wood line. Also put BMP2s over there. I'm gonna put Shilkas. Yeah, I'll end up kind of using the Shilkas to protect a headquarters element. Do I have a headquarters element that I need to deploy? I'll deploy my supply node, so I'll use the Shilkas to protect the supply node, and then, very importantly, we'll set up a primary artillery area here. I think that's going to do it. All right, so that's the force that we've assembled. We've got 50 deployment points left, lots of supplies still. We went heavy left as intended. Here we go. You'll love to see it. See, that's what I mean by like the game moves pretty quickly. They very much just like get the vehicles out and get them going, which I appreciate. So there's no lag time there. And we do have a friendly element out in front. They're almost providing a screen for us. They've encountered the first round of armor over here. They should be able to handle that pretty easily. Look at all that artillery already coming down. It's pretty wild. Warehouses is going to be our first objective. I think I'm going to try to push that Okay, so first things first, we're going to start peppering some of these bad guys with artillery. We want to end up engaging them early. I'm going to go ahead and bind that to a control group too, so my artillery is now all bound to key 2. Classic real-time tactics, you know, thing there. We'll have them begin firing here, and then we're going to begin moving right away. So I'm actually going to take my armor and call them 1. My infantry over here, we'll call them 3. And then if I put my armor and my infantry together, we'll call that force 4. Okay, they can't be a member of 2 groups at once, so we'll just have this big combined arms force. I don't have any reconnaissance. Typically, I would want some of that. We'll lead with our armor then, and have them move here initially and establish what would be considered a support by fire position behind that vegetation as cover. Should allow them to peer into this village and still get eyes on the warehouses. Simultaneously, I'm going to move with my infantry. I'm going to have them move carefully. Well, first I'm going to have them move here, and then after that I'm going to have them move here. And we've got now our first round of cannon fire going out. We have a Jag over here, so that's an anti-tank unit, and then we have mech infantry that we're hitting right now. Lots of pre-assault fires coming in on the warehouse, so that's doing a good job of setting conditions for us. Friendly TAC air coming in. That's super helpful. This is a hell of a fight. Pretty cool to see. Wow, how awesome is that? That's pretty neat, man. So we are heavily weighted left. That's a good thing because our ally does seem to be heavily weighted over here to the right. Our infantry are making their way through that wood line. Still don't have any enemy contact, so I'm actually going to tell them to expedite their movement over here and stage essentially at what would be a last cover and concealed position right there. I want them to do that fast. This whole time, we're also going to move up a little bit with our armor. I'm going to keep the pre-assault fires going on the enemy units that we've seen over there. So, haven't really stopped to talk a lot about tactics, but in combined arms maneuver, in all maneuver, right, you want to fix the enemy and then maneuver on them. Right now, we're fixing the enemy with fires. That's being done by the TAC air provided by our allies. It's also being done by my own cannon fire. Then you want to stage as close to the line of contact as possible before deploying your troops. Then you want to deploy your troops and rapidly mass on the objective. Our first objective is the warehouses. We're setting conditions for that for taking the warehouses by suppressing the known enemy positions nearby, and then establishing the L just like you would in CQB. That doesn't change just because you're in a combined arms scenario, with a support by fire in this case made of armor, an assault element made of infantry, and then we'll fight from that L before ultimately assaulting the warehouse. That's kind of where we're at right now. We'll see the situation develop, get a better feel for how the game plays. We've encountered some enemy obstacles here, so we may, in fact, see we should have potentially considered those engineers. One of the the nature of battle positions is that a battle position is going to have an engagement area. That engagement area is going to use obstacles to force the enemy to maneuver. So right now we're encountering those obstacles. We're feeling them. We should have anticipated it because that's a major movement corridor right along that road. But we're feeling that now, and it's going to affect our ability to move. Let's see what happens when these guys try to get through it. We are now taking fire from the village itself, so what we'll do is actually come back a little bit. We don't want to get caught up in the enemy's engagement area. And I'm going to shift my cannons onto the village itself. Here's the cannon fire coming in. It's helping us out. There we go. Okay, now that we're here, we've made contact, right? We're going to try to maintain contact without... I'm going to get these guys right here before I deploy them. Get your butts back here. Taking a ton of fire there, and we're also being engaged with this anti-armor section who's got some pretty considerable range that I just didn't anticipate. Our infantry's here now. We've got decent pre-assault fires. We want this TBM strike right there. That's good pre-assault fires for us. That's going to set conditions for us to go ahead and come back up in here. So I'm bringing my armor back. I'm keeping up the pre-assault fires with my own artillery. And now we've got a TBM strike. So that's Russian. That is Russian rocket artillery that's going to mass right here on the warehouse forces. I am also going to deploy this infantry because when we're assaulting an urban area, we want our infantry available to help us get through it. And now that that TBM strike is coming in, there it is. We're going to go ahead and direct our infantry to assault with our armor. We're going to take that artillery that was blasting the area and we're going to push it to other known likely and suspecting positions. So we're shifting the artillery off of the objective. We'd suppress for as long as we possibly could. We perform pre-assault fires with the TBM strike and with our own artillery. Now that that is all done, we want to move up with our forces. Let's see if our infantry can even get through this obstacle. They're fighting through the obstacle right now. It takes a long time to breach. I'm actually going to come back over here and turn artillery back on while we're breaching. So we get one more volley of artillery. All right, friendlies are coming in, so we're shifting artillery off. And there's our first batch of assaulters moving into the objective after having set conditions using pre-assault fires and everything else. So working as designed. These guys are still fighting through their own obstacle. These guys are hurting on ammunition, it looks like. So I'm actually going to put them in a ceasefire. All right, we're going to relocate our headquarters up here to the warehouses now. Here comes the counterattack. We're going to put Artie on that right away.
Zone captured.
All right, we've captured the warehouses. We've got good Artie going off. Near fight's going to be won by my tanks. Deep fight is going to be won by my Artie. This first group of guys is already actually retreated, and it seems like we've knocked off that battle position altogether. So good work there. The Shilkas are now moving up to defend. Ooh, we're taking Artie from deep now. I'm going to put Artie deep here. I don't want to waste this artillery barrage, but I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to have a 5-minute cooldown on that, but right now it's going to protect my force, so I think it's important that I do it. These guys are suppressed and running. So we actually had our own artillery there. Ran. That hurt us bad. That artillery strike's coming in now. So these guys are being suppressed pretty good up top, just like we'd want them to be. Shokas, I'm going to have them go ahead and move up. Hopefully they're safe back here. We don't want to get bogged down on this objective, so I am keen on pushing as fast as I can. We need to resupply. Where East is killing us right now, absolutely killing us. So I am going to get the hell out of this city before they fix us with fires. Let's get some artillery going deep here. Let's get some smoke going here. We've got to get the heck off of this thing. So I'm going to put my entire assault element, all you guys. We're going to just go ahead and freaking start pushing. Obstacles left, enemy right. I think we swing around the obstacles personally. We'll do exactly that. Leave the Shilka right there. These guys. I'm going to reestablish my artillery here. I'm going to put my supply guys here as well. They allegedly have 600 supply on them. I need to resupply my artillery. I don't know how to do that. Maybe it's as simple as just putting them over here. I think that might be the case. I just don't know. Armor's hurting. We're down 2 vehicles in this platoon and 1 vehicle in this platoon. The infantry, I'm actually going to have these guys load back up into their vehicles so they can move quicker. They have now loaded up. We'll get them arrayed over here fast. And now, indeed, we do have resupply coming. So I'm going to put my artillery. This is perfect. So I'll put my artillery right here in my resupply point. So I've got my short-range air defense in the form of the Shilkas co-located with my logistics supply point and my primary assembly or my primary artillery area. So kind of my headquarters and logistician or logistical node here. Now we've got 15 more minutes before we can drop another TBM strike and 2 more minutes until we can get another artillery barrage. So once I'm done resupplying my artillery here, I'm actually going to run a combat logistics patrol to do a tailgate resupply of my assault element in their attack position here. We're going to hold for a few minutes till we get that artillery barrage back, and we're also going to resupply this maneuver element before we push on to the next objective. I can't believe how kinetic that last fight got. That was pretty wild. Wish I had some more reconnaissance and more fires available to me. On the other side of the map, it looks like my teammate kind of stagnated, frankly, and has found themselves in a bit of a bind. What a fight there, first off, in that first push. Goodness. Pretty fun game, though. And hopefully I'm explaining it adequately as I go. I'm definitely going to need some time to learn the minutiae of the game, but I do think it's a cool way to be able to talk about the doctrine, the tactics associated with combined arms maneuver. Now that resupply is complete over here, I'm going to move my supply element over to the assault folks and get them re-upped as best I can. I think we're still reasonably concealed here. I am going to get the infantry. Yeah, they're dismounted and dug in, so that's good. Yeah, put them back out in their foxholes, so that's perfect. Supply troops on the way. My artillery guys are completely resupplied. We're going to hit them hard here on Hill 99 and Wera East simultaneously because it is going to end up being a simultaneous assault. And the challenge we're going to face here is we don't know, just like last time, where the obstacles are going to be because, you know, again, urban area, high-speed avenue of approach is right here. They're going to assume I'm either going to come through this hill, this movement corridor right here between the water and the vegetation. So that's a choke point, and I would expect then barriers or obstacles to be there. And then if not that direction, they're going to expect me to come down this high-speed avenue of approach. I'm expecting it to be entrenched in both of those spots. And then the challenge is once we're on this objective, we're going to be in artillery range of Wera proper, and we're also going to be in artillery range of Hill 99. So a couple challenges. But once we get on Hill 99, we own, you know, the most critical in my estimate piece of key terrain on this map, and that's going to set us up for success for the duration. All right, resupply is ongoing. We're hurting now on supply. Are we going to get back to full strength? I do not know. 3 and 2 still, so we don't get to replace vehicles. I wonder if I run back to my supply point if I get more. I'm going to try. Oh, man, so it got super dicey there in the beginning, but I'm glad we got a foothold here in the warehouses. I feel reasonably good about where we're at now. The one place that I know we're exposed is on the east side, or I say east because it's to the right, but really it's the north side of the warehouse over here. Our flank is exposed. If we suffered a counterattack from India or Hill 7-1, right now it would be very difficult for us to survive that. The only reason I feel even remotely comfortable with where we're at is because we do have that ally allegedly fighting off to our north, hopefully distracting the enemy enough that they're not going to re-engage, you know, where we're at now. Now, our supply element is now arriving back to...
5 minutes remaining.
Holy crap, are you serious? Only 5 minutes remaining till what? Till what? Do we have to go? Do we have to keep going? Look at that, we do get to resupply. That's pretty cool. Okay, next one's going to have to be a big one, guys. I'm going to go ahead and start pushing out since we know we're short on time. I'm going to go artillery barrage on this target simultaneous with a smoke barrage on this target to screen our movement. So that gives us smoke from Hill 99 and it gives us artillery on we're at east. We're going to move up into a final cover and conceal position here. We'll do that Ricky tick as the arty comes in. Simultaneously, we're resupplying back here. I'm also going to take these guys, and I'm going to start softening up hill 7-1, actually, because we know that that is where we're going to have to go afterwards. So let's get to work, folks. Arty's going off. Indeed, there's those obstacles we kind of feared would be in that area. There's the artillery coming in. We've got good smoke. As soon as this artillery clears, we're assaulting. Artillery's complete. We're coming in. All right, back here, we are resupplied. So we're going to move our assembly area here. Ooh, what is this? We've got enemy TAC air. Those are A-10 Warthogs coming in, and my Shilka is out of position back here. So I'm going to start moving my Shilka up to right here. From there to here, because we're going to need him up close. Those A-10s are just tearing us up. The Shilka's going to work, though. So the A-10s did get suppressed by my Shilka. That's why we brought that short-range air defense. It did put some hurt on my infantry in the process. We took a whole lot of casualties. So that hurts. I'm going to take this arty now, and I'm going to transition the arty to suppressing Hill 9-9, because that's going to be our immediate follow-on. Supplies are still coming back up to the warehouse. Arty's going out on Hill 9-9. And we are now moving onto Wera East. Smoke is back up. I'm going to put smoke. I'm going to put smoke on Hill 9-9. Here comes those A-10s again. Shilkas are up close. They should be able to help us out. So the A-10s are hitting my infantry again. We shot down one A-10.
1 minute remaining.
Only 1 minute remaining. I don't know that we're going to make it, folks. I don't know that we're going to make it. I do know that we learned a lot in the process. The Shilkas are now taking damage.
Zone captured.
All right, we took Wera East. We're going to push Hill 9-9 en route to Hill 7-1, and we'll see how we do. We're going to keep the arty going this time. I'm going to push it even deeper over here to Hill 7-1. Smoke will go in the veg. We're going to protect our flank. Yeah, we'll protect our flank a little bit right here. We're already taking artillery from the enemy.
Objective
Oh,
completed.
man. Objective completed. So what the hell? Phase 1 lasted for 8 minutes, 30 victory points, 4 objectives control. So the way that this worked is that there was objectives by phase, and whatever the objectives were for phase 1, we completed. But that doesn't mean I'm particularly satisfied. So we had 100 dead, 146 wounded, 16 missing. Frankly, got our asses kicked. Oh, man, what a disaster. What a fun game, though. Game is called Regiments. Be learning it a little bit more as it continues development. It's definitely fun. It plays extremely well. There's plenty of tweaking that still needs to happen. But you guys can see the potential here. And I certainly have enjoyed my time in it so far. If you want to jump in on the playtest, it's still available. You can apply to participate in it by going into Steam, searching for Regiments, then opting in. This game is being made by Micropros. I'm hopeful that means you'll be able to see it over on my Nexus game store whenever it finally launches in the near future. I'm Controlled Pairs. You guys have been watching Regiments. See you guys in the next one.